Our scientist is John Dalton. John Dalton was born September 6, 1766. He died July 27, 1844, and he was best known for discovering the atomic theory in 1803. Three interesting facts about him were that he was colorblind, he was one of the only scientists with a statue, and he started teaching at the age of 12. And this is our video.
John Dalton was an English chemist and physicist, best known for his work on atomic theory and his work on colourblindness. Dalton was born in Cockermouth on the west coast of England into a family of Quakers. He worked at a Quaker school until 1793 when he moved to Manchester. Dalton learned a great deal of his scientific knowledge from a blind philosopher named John Gough, and from this Dalton was made teacher of mathematics and philosophy at a college in Manchester until 1800, when he was forced to become a personal tutor due to lack of funds available at the college. Dalton began a meteorological diary in 1787 and made an estimated 200,000 weather observations during the remainder of his life. He also wrote a paper on the phenomenon of colourblindness, which had not been fully documented until Dalton's work was published. Daltonism became a common term for the condition at the time. He was then made secretary of the Manchester Literary and Philosophical Society in 1800, and in 1801 he published papers on the constitution of mixed gases, the pressure of gases at different temperatures, and the evaporation and expansion of gases. In 1808 he published a book called The New System of Chemical Philosophy. This was his groundbreaking work on atomic theory based on 5 propositions. The first proposition was that all matter is composed of extremely small indivisible particles called atoms. The second and third propositions state that atoms of each element are identical in size and mass, and that atoms cannot be created or destroyed. The fourth and fifth propositions are that elements combine to form chemical compounds in simple ratios, and that in chemical reactions atoms are combined, separated, or rearranged. He also published the first table of atomic weights, as well as his work System of Chemistry. Dalton also lectured at the Royal Institution in London and was awarded a fellowship in 1822. He never married and died in 1844 after suffering several strokes in the previous few years.
Dalton used Richter's experiments. Richter's book of atomic theory came out in 1789, but Dalton wasn't familiar with that book. Dalton knew that water contains 1 atom of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. He concluded that an oxygen atom weighs 5.6 times more than a hydrogen atom. Based on the information he knew, he was able to construct the table below. Elements are made of the smallest particles, atoms. All atoms for an element are identical. Atoms from different elements can be told apart by their atomic weight. Atoms from different elements can combine to form chemical compounds through chemical reactions. Atoms cannot be created, destroyed, or divided, for they are the smallest particles of matter.
And this table to the right shows how the weights are different, which is why they're different elements.
So this is what he believed atoms looked like at the table on the side. It was pretty much the same model as Democritus's, but he added a few elements.
That's it.
Fiend.